In this part of Military Survivorman at Stillwater Reservoir, we're going to be counting down Bill's top 7 military concepts for surviving in the field, as well as Bill's top 14 most essential items to make any adventure successful. Bill would like to stress the importance of knowing one's limits. Do not try and set out on a rigorous adventure carrying 100 pounds or more, for example. Instead, start out slowly and build your knowledge and endurance. Take baby steps when you start out and expand the risks you take incrementally. This concept will help keep you on track for a comfortable adventure. The next concept Bill advocates is to always have many contingency plans. What happens when things don't go as planned? How will you find food, water, and shelter should your initial approaches fail? You always need a backup plan when things go wrong, as they always do.
I'm not exactly sure where I am. I don't see any signs of a camp here, so I'm kind of a little bit confused about what's going on right now.
Consider all of the worst case scenarios and form a contingency plan you will follow if these unwanted situations arise.
I do know that my general vicinity, I know how to get back. I'm not lost, but I just can't seem to find my objective here. I'm going to backtrack a little ways up this waterway here and see if I can find a reference point to guide me.
Staying hydrated is another important concept for surviving in the field. Place a high premium on drinking water. This is important in cold weather conditions and especially when in hot, humid conditions. Invest in a good hydration system and drink at least 1 quart of water hourly when you are hot and active. Anytime you are not feeling well, take a break and drink some water. The fourth important concept Bill stresses is staying warm and dry. Ensure the clothing you bring on your future adventure is light and breathable. In hot weather conditions, you should wear silk weight shirts and fast-drying overgarments. In cold weather conditions, consider using fleece. But in cold and wet conditions, remember Gore-Tex can be a lifesaver. Always dress using layers so you can prevent overheating, and you should always take care of your feet. Make good use of plastic containers, Ziploc bags, trash bags, and rubberized wet weather bags. Don't even think about going into the field unless you know your clothing and your equipment will remain dry at all times. The next concept Bill suggests is to pack light. The biggest mistake many novice soldiers and survivalists make is to carry too much equipment into the field. In most cases, your equipment should be 50 pounds or less. Another rule of thumb is to only carry 20% of your body weight. If you pack light, it will prevent overheating and you will be more comfortable. The second most important concept is to be proactive. An ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. With this adage in mind, place a premium on your packing list. Go online, read articles, and watch videos to gather ideas. As they say in the Army, be prepared. The first and most important military concept for surviving in the field is to work smarter, not harder. It is a romantic notion to live off of the land, use primitive fire starting methods, or drink directly from a stream. With this being said, it is smarter to bring MREs, matches, fire starting materials, and clean water on your trip. It is wise to set up your first base camp only an hour away from your vehicle, and then you can venture outwards, gradually. Survival equipment such as magnesium fire starting devices or water purification straws are good forms of backup if things don't go as planned. Start out using the fastest, easiest, and most effective approaches, then fall back on the more primitive techniques should anything go wrong. Next, we will count down the 14 most essential items to bring on any survival adventure. Number 14. Throughout Bill's adventure, he carried many different pieces of small equipment, such as his straight edge knife, which he mainly used for cleaning fish. He had zip ties, tin foil, utensils for eating, and 550 cord. Number 13. Along with small pieces of equipment, Bill also brought personal preference items, such as his seasoning for the fish. Some more items like this that would be handy to bring on an adventure would be things like eye protection such as goggles and glasses, and hand protection like gloves.
Number 12.
Bringing along seasonal items is also essential for any adventure. In the warmer summer months, it is important to take precaution against insects with clothing repellent and bug spray. In very sunny conditions, remember to bring sunscreen and chapstick. Bill brought along with him 2 articles of polar fleece clothing, one which was heavy gauge for colder conditions, and one which was lightweight and more versatile.
Number 11.
Bill's Molly equipment was very essential on his adventure. He primarily used his hydration system and a salt pack. He also used his FLC tactical vest and ruck system. He used his FLC vest to take along with him his smaller equipment like Gerber tools and knives. He also used a ruck system to carry everything out to the field with him. As backup, he brought along fanny packs and accessory pouches.
Number 10.
For light systems, Bill brought along with him his headlight system and his LED flashlight. He also brought his angle head flashlight, his chem lights, and camp candles as backups.
Number 9.
It is important to bring along land navigation items to aid you in your adventure. Bill brought along a compass and topographical map to help him. He also brought protractors and pace counters to keep track of his movement. If all else fails, use the sun, the moon, and the stars to help guide you. Bringing a GPS system is a great way for beginners to start out in the field and better their land navigation techniques.
Number 8.
For emergency items, Bill's primary source was his cell phone, which he could use if he ever got in trouble. It is important to note if the area you will be adventuring into will have cell coverage. If not, you will need to consider using a satellite phone. As a backup, Bill brought a first aid kit, a signal mirror, a whistle, flag tape, and an Army survival manual. Signal mirrors and whistles are great ways to alert rescuers from afar. Write on the tape pertinent information about your situation, such as the direction you are heading. This will increase the likeliness that you will be found.
Number 7.
Bill mainly used a poncho and rubberized wet weather bags to protect himself and his equipment from rain. He also brought along trash bags, Ziploc bags, and waterproof containers. Trash bags can easily and effectively be turned into makeshift ponchos and wet weather bags, should your main ones fail.
Number 6.
For sleeping arrangements, Bill brought along his 3-piece Gore-Tex sleeping bag system. He also used a Thermarest sleeping pad. In case things did not go as planned, he brought a liner so he could turn his poncho into a sleeping bag.
Number 5.
Bill used his multi-purpose tools a lot during his adventure. He mainly used his Gerber multiplier tool and his military combat axe, also known as a SPAC.
It's a survival axe. I can tell you right now it's a good piece of equipment.
He also brought with him an entrenching tool and machete.
Number 4.
To light fires, Bill used waterproof matches and fire starting logs. He also brought a standard lighter. In case those primary methods failed, he also brought a magnesium bar, spark devices, and camp candles.
Number 3.
For shelter, Bill built a hooch system with his poncho and line. With the poncho tied above his sleeping quarters, he was able to protect himself from the rain. He also used a net to protect himself from biting insects.
Number 2.
For food, Bill primarily ate fish which he caught using his fishing tackle. He also ate MREs, and his fallback plan was to forage for food. He was able to find berries on his trip. If you are able to catch a fish, it is very easy to turn this fish into a way to catch scavenging birds. Simply let the birds see you toss out a chunk of fish in the water with a line and a treble hook. The birds will always fall for it. They can't resist an easy meal.
Number 1.
Whether you're trying to survive or just out on a family camping trip, water should always be your number one priority. Bill primarily used his 2-liter hydration system, and he also brought along 1-quart canteens. As a backup plan, Bill brought along a water purification straw, which he could use to drink from streams if he had to.
And right in here, inside this device right here, is where you would drink. You would pinch off with your teeth here, and then you would drink out of using the straw. We sell these at Bradley's. I think they go from different models, go from like $19.95 to $29.95. I'll confess that I've never used one of these before, but let's see how it works. I just went over there and spit out a little bit of water to let you know that it is flowing through. Water tastes fine. I don't feel overly cautious. So this is a good piece of equipment. This is a good piece of equipment to have if you were in a situation where you needed a good backup.
By bringing these 14 essential items and coupling them with Bill's 7 military concepts, knowing your limits, always having a contingency plan, staying hydrated, staying warm and dry, packing light, being proactive, and working smarter not harder, you will be able to have a safe and comfortable adventure anywhere. All of the equipment that Bill has used throughout this documentary can be found at bradleysurplus.com. Bradley's has a wide selection of clothing and equipment that hunters, survivalists, and other outdoorsmen love. Bradley's is a good starting point for many outdoorsmen and a good source of information for survivalists. If you are interested in going on your own survival adventure, Bradley's is always glad to help and answer any of your questions. Please contact them through their webpage, bradleysurplus.com, their Facebook page, or give them a call. Bradley's would like to wish you a good time on your future survival adventures.